Hello, everybody. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever it is that you are watching this video live stream. Hello, it is evening if you're watching it live, or at least it's evening where I am. Hope everybody is having a good Thursday. If you are here and the live chat isn't on the right-hand side or wherever it should be, I still don't know which way I'm pointing, but anyway, if it isn't there, just hit refresh and it should appear then, and hopefully you will be able to see and chat along, because I am hopefully going to be doing a little Q&A thing later on. I already have questions in case nobody asks me questions, so don't worry, don't feel obliged to ask a question, but if you would, about Eurovision or anything else really, if you have anything you'd like to know. So yes, hope everybody is having a good day so far. Tonight I am going to be talking about Israel's Eden Elaine and France's Barbara Pravi. The two, I think that rounds off all the selected songs bar one or two that I will have covered that I think will be the kind of final versions. Hello to everybody in the chat. If you are around, do say hello. Always love talking to people. If you are new, please do hit subscribe if you haven't already, because that really does help a lot. And leave a like and leave comments. If you're watching this back, you can do pretty much all of those things. You can't comment live, but you can leave a comment. And yeah, hope that all sounds good. Thank you again to everybody who has been watching the videos, who has been joining the streams live. Yeah, really been great, and I have really been enjoying being back and doing Eurovision things and talking about Eurovision things. It's quite nice, to be honest, to actually be able to do this again. And you may have seen as well, video went out earlier today, which was the first clip of a live stream, which is how I'm kind of doing things, and we're going to see how that is going forward. I think next week I'll probably do 2 streams, and we'll see, and then I'll decide whether or not it'll be 2 or 3 going forward. And also, there's also a lot of, question about when are we getting songs, because I imagine in March there'll be a lot of songs to talk about, so maybe I'll be doing more then. Hello to Spencer, my new subscriber. Hello, thank you very much. So yeah, let us get on and talk about some Eurovision songs, because that's what you're here for. I also believe that Estilal was on tonight. I didn't watch it, to be honest. I don't really watch Estilal. But yeah, I hear that it went very male, so let's hope that they put some women in the next semi-final and don't choose that song that's apparently very dodgy. From what I've gathered, yeah, it doesn't sound good, the Watchdog people, so yeah. Anyway, Israel selected Eden Elaine to go once again to Rotterdam. She was their Eurovision 2020 candidate. She is now the Eurovision 2021 candidate, and she is singing Set Me Free. Now, as I said when I was talking about the Roop, obviously with some of the acts, it's difficult not to compare what happened in 2020 and their song to what happened in 2021 and the song they're sending now. And that's just sort of the way it is, because artists can't really evolve that much in the space of a year, is how I feel. And I won't dwell on 2020 too much, but I kind of think that for Eden, it's an odd kind of paradox for me. Where in 2020, I watched the national final, or I listened to the national final songs, and I had 2 favourites. I really loved Roots, and I really loved Rakata. And then she ended up going with Feka Libby, which I didn't like. Not that I didn't like it, I just didn't like it as much as the other 2. And I grew to like Feka Libby the more that I listened to it, but it didn't grab me immediately. And now this year, I didn't listen to any of the other songs in the Israeli selection, to be honest. So I kind of didn't have any favourites going into the final selection when there were 3 songs. And then Set Me Free was selected, and I kind of feel like a lot of people really liked some of the other songs, whereas I heard Set Me Free, and I'll be honest, I really like it. Which, again, as I have said in some of my other videos, I don't dislike any of the songs so far, which is weird this far into Eurovision season when there are like 7 or 8 songs selected. So yeah, it's an interesting one, because I do wonder whether it's a case where people's like national final favourite didn't get selected, and that has slightly coloured their view on Set Me Free, because I see a lot of people rank this like at the bottom of their rankings of the year so far. And like, obviously it's hard to say because, you know, songs will change and this, that and the other, but I genuinely think that once again, Eden is a star. And that's the main thing that you have to look at. Eden is a star. No matter what song she is given, she just really just delivers every single time. And this is another case where, you know, all the songs in last year's selection, she was great, and I think she will be great in Rotterdam with this. I know there's the meme going around where she doesn't look that impressed that Set Me Free was selected, but she'll kill it. Like, she's a professional. She knows, like, that is what she's doing. She's gonna deliver that on stage in Rotterdam or wherever she ends up having to perform it. I like the music video. I think that there are elements of staging that you can see from the music video and how they might end up interpreting that into a stage performance. Like, if they really draw on that, I think that might help. I like sort of the light tubes and the different colours that they're playing with. But again, the main thing is that Eden pops on camera. She's a star. She is a star, like, already, it feels like. And this is just, like, the beginning, and we're going to keep on seeing, like, the evolution of Eden Aline, which I'm really looking forward to. Is the song overly strong? No, and the lyrics aren't, like, great, is the main issue. I think it's quite catchy, though. Like, I often just, like, have that set me free. I can't sing. Don't know why I'm trying. But, you know, like, set me free, feel my beating harmony. I think that's the lyric. It's not a great lyric, but it's catchy and it sticks in your head. And I think that, you know, if she's able to deliver those vocals, there are lots of different styles going on, but again, she can deliver them. So there's a lot of things that are going well in her favour. Notepad is back. Let me just refer to my notes that I have written on this. Yes, there is a lot happening, and yeah, there are a lot of different styles, and sometimes that doesn't work well for a Eurovision song. I feel like, again, she can probably make it work for her. And yeah, there's artistry. That's the main thing. She is the artist. That is what they need to focus on. And I think that there is a lot of really good potential for this. I wouldn't be surprised if it sounds a bit different by the time we get to Rotterdam or the grand final, wherever it may be, or the semi-finals even. And I think that is something they can work on this. It's interesting that Israel have selected so early. I mean, Toy was, I think, the last or one of the last songs that was selected in 2018, and that worked out really well for them then. And I feel like they're often quite late, but this time it feels like they've given themselves time. It will allow them to look at critiques and some of the criticism, see how they can rework it. And yeah, I have full faith. And the main reason I have faith is Eden. I feel like I'm turning into an Eden Aline stan YouTube account by the way I'm praising her. But yeah, I think that she's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to just like her career in general. Like, this is just the start of it. We know that. And yeah, a lot of really good things coming from that. Is it, you know, I see a lot of people put it towards the bottom of their rankings. It's not one that is at the top of mine. I'm not going to lie. You know, I have like 2 or 3 really big favourites at the moment. But this is up there, and I would see it qualifying. And I would be, you know, very shocked if Eden, just because of how great she is, if it doesn't make it through. You know, there's going to be a lot of competition no matter what, and we don't know the rest of the semi-final field. But yeah, there's a lot of potential there, and I just think that I do suspect it might be where people are letting national final like judgment cloud some of their opinion on this song. I think that, you know, there's a lot going for it, and I've played it to some people that aren't necessarily Eurovision fans, and they've liked it too. So yeah, I feel like it's being harshly judged, but I am expecting a lot from it. So those are my thoughts on Eden Aline. Do let me know what your thoughts are, either in the comments or if you're watching this live in the live chat, and we'll come back to those in a moment. So that is that. Quick drink break. This is gin, by the way, because it's a Thursday evening. Why not? Refreshing. Yeah, it's been a long week. I don't know if anybody else has lockdowns and all this. I don't know where are you all from. Let me know in the live chat or in the comments. Where are you joining me from tonight? I would love to know. Because we're in a long period here in the UK where it feels like I've been in lockdown for most of my life. I'm going to be one of those unfortunate people, I feel like, where I'm going to have 2 lockdown birthdays, because I think, hopefully, this won't go on for much longer. We hope. But yeah, I'm probably going to be one of those people that has 2 lockdown birthdays, which is going to suck, but oh well. Somebody told me that I'm aging gracefully, which the gin is not going to help with. Also, by the way, in my period away from the Eurovision scene, everybody missed my glorious, magnificent beard that kind of grew. It never appeared in any blogs, in any videos for Wee Wee Blogs. It never appeared on this channel. This is the closest the longest it's been for a year. But I had a full-on bushy beard, and it was a choice, is what I will say. There are pictures of it on my Instagram if you want to have a look. Instagram is linked in the description. It was certainly something. So most people are joining from the UK. You know the pain of lockdown, unfortunately. Oh Lord. Okay, let's move on to another artist I'm very excited about, and probably I think maybe my number one at the moment. And again, I hate doing points and things like that these days, because every artist has their own fans and everybody is amazing because they've got to Eurovision in the first place. Just going to put that out there. But if I had an objective favourite at the moment, it's probably this one. So I am talking about Barbara Pravi with Voila for France, their Eurovision 2021 song. And oh my, what a glow up, because no shade. You Are the Best in Me, or Mon Allié. I can't remember exactly which order around the L and the I go. France's Eurovision 2020 song was probably towards the bottom of my rankings. I didn't see a lot of love for it, is what I'll say. The acoustic version, actually much nicer. But yeah, it was one of those where I was like, what are France doing? France's efforts over the last few years they really stepped up their game with Destination Eurovision, I felt like, and Madame Monsieur were great. Bilal really loved Wa, and the performance in Tel Aviv I thought was really great. Still love that to this day. And then Tom was a step back in my opinion. It didn't grab me, and I didn't see a Eurovision quality from that song in the way that I could see it, how you could look at it from a Tom Dice Belgium 2010. It just didn't hit that. Even in the acoustic version, it was missing something. All that being said, because I'm not meant to be talking about 2020, I'm talking about 2021. France nailed it by doing the Frenchiest French thing they possibly could, and it's brilliant. I love Voila. I loved it from the first time I heard it, when the studio versions came out and they did the little live performances. I think that it is so French. And if you ever look at my Twitter, I usually will say how much I love during the Eurovision Top 250. I'm always standing Patricia Cass, because I love Et s'il fallait le faire, and that is very French. It's very chanson. It's everything that I love kind of in a French Eurovision entry. And this feels like it's on a different level, but it's just, it hits me right there where I love that kind of French flair. And yeah, that's either going to work in its favour or against it for a lot of people. There will be people who are very put off because it is so French and so just, there is a passion there that might not come across great to everybody. But I think it's wonderful, and I think Barbara is a wonderful performer. Looking back at the national final, I mean, I think it was clearly the best performance on the night. It was interesting for me because I really like French national finals, it turns out, because again, Destination Eurovision 2018, I said this in my Croatia review, but I think that's one of the strongest national finals there has ever been. And I think that field was amazing. And I think that the field for C'est vous qui décidez was also equally really strong. And you looked at entries like Andrea Mad and Philippine. I can't remember exactly if that was her name, but Banon. Really great studio hits. They didn't really come across as well live, but then you had people like Juliette Morin, who came second. She killed it live, but the one constant kind of who was great across both was Barbara, and I think that is why she clearly won. She won with the jury. It looked like she obviously won with the televote. And just, it was a great... no, she did win with the jury. Of course she did. We saw the jury votes. I was thinking back when they were, like, ranking the songs before they actually did voting. Apologies. Yeah, it was such a spectacular performance. And again, it's another one where, and I think a lot of countries are being quite smart, is that you could see very quickly how that could work in a smaller studio setting if they had to do that. But also... in an arena, you could cut that very particularly, and they did a lot of close-ups. There was that, like, frenetic, awkward, almost uncomfortable level of camera work, particularly towards the end when it really starts to build and Barbara's really performing and emoting. That was incredible. I think that's some of the best camera work we've seen to do with Eurovision for a very long time. And again, that might put some people off. Is it too aggressive? Is it too powerful? But I think it's what I want from a French Eurovision entry. So for me, it worked wonders. And then you start to think, the last time that a song, I'm trying to think of the way to word this, it has a Salvador Sobral quality to me. Now, I didn't like Salvador Sobral before I got to Eurovision, and then it started to grow on me, and by the end I was really happy Amar Pelage won, and Lisbon was fun, so I'm happy it won for that reason too. But yeah, there is that kind of quality, you feel like, and it depends. Not everybody is going to like the fact that it's so French, but then not everybody liked the fact that Salvador and Amar Pelage was so that. And I don't know, it just feels like a solo performer performing like that, who clearly loves and cares about that song and has so much emotion that she can put into it, is great. There's an amazing story behind it as well. Can France do the double? Can Barbara win Junior Eurovision by being a songwriter, and then win it by being the performer? And France is suddenly like the all-conquering Eurovision nation after so long in the wilderness. That would be quite something, is what I would say. I don't know whether it's not as powerful a story as Salvador's, but there's something there. It feels like there is something special about Voila and about Barbara, and that's why I think it gets me. It has something that lifts it above other great Eurovision songs. It feels like it has that extra special something, which is usually reserved for a song that does very well. It did go to the top of the betting odds immediately, I think, and then it sort of has fallen down. I feel like the same kind of thing, like Salvador was barely ever at the top of the betting charts in 2017. So maybe, or I'm just getting into my own hype. And actually, it's probably not going to do as well as I hope. But a boy can hope, right? Other little things that I just noted down. Yeah, actually, I would say even it's one of those songs where the live performance feels just as good as the studio cut. And I know I was saying earlier, like, some performers, did better in one or the other. And Barbara did great on both. But it wasn't like a different way that she performed it or a different style. It just all flowed together so naturally and perfectly. And yeah, it's just the little things that enhance it. I do wonder, like, there were certain cuts in the in the national final performance. Like, there's the flock of birds and things like that. It didn't need that. Like, okay, fancy little camera work and fancy LEDs, nice enough, but when it just had like the stars around her, that really sold it for me. And I think that is something that, yeah, again, if they can recreate something like that, just it needs minor little edits, but this is one where it feels ready packaged to go. Other than that, and the song is superb in my opinion. So yeah, if I had a favourite going in right now, I love The Roop as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm always going to be a Lithuania stan, but yeah, I think that this is currently leading the way for me. I think it's, and again, I love Roi, I love Merci. I think this is France's best entry since A S'il fallait le faire, and I think it is easily their best chance at a really good result. I can see this being top 10 because I can't imagine, even like I can imagine a jury really loving this, and I can imagine a televote going for this. Like, there's the little things. There may be paths for it to go down where it will do well. So yes, I am very much a fan. Voilà, merci beaucoup, Barbara Pravi. And Igit, who is the songwriter, going back to Destination Eurovision 2018 as well. Funny how they all sort of are coming back together in their own weird way. We've got Max Cinnamon and Igit, both as songwriters this year. Go figure. There you go. Apparently that really was a stellar year, and hopefully that means Emiliana, please come back soon. OK Ukao is still one of my favourite national final songs of all time. So, there we go. Do let me know your thoughts about Barbara Pravi and Voila in the chat as well. I have noticed there's a lot of comments as well, so I'm going to read those in a moment about either song. And then, yeah, if you are watching this back, please do leave comments in the comment box as well. Live chat, comment, wherever you want to do it. Just, give me some love and say hello, because it's nice to chat to people. And I will say, I genuinely have enjoyed doing these streams. I really have, and it's been great, and seeing people watching the videos and just getting involved. Yeah, it's been very nice. So thank you very much. Okay, comments. And then there is a little bit of a Q&A thing. First, more gin. By the way, apologies if my frames drop at any point, or if anything goes wrong. My housemate also streams, but he streams video games, which I could also do, but I don't. So we are both streaming at exactly the same point, so our internet may die. Who knows? Okay. So, Danny Jackson, this is to do with Israel. I think the reason that there was so much controversy behind Set Me Free is that going into the selection, it was by far the least favourite to win, so it took everyone by surprise. Yeah, and didn't it get 70% of the votes in the end? Which is crazy. That seems like a huge, huge jump from, I think, was it a song called Shoulders? I really didn't appreciate. I didn't really listen to or appreciate any of the other songs, so for me it was just okay, great, Set Me Free, I like that. Yeah, it's an odd one, that it just came out of nowhere, it feels like. But again, Israel have made, in their old national selection, there were a lot of times where people were like, wait, hang on, why did this song not win, or why did that not win? So yeah, Israel is its own. The Israeli voting public have their own opinions, and that's great, because if it was always what Eurovision fans wanted, I think Euphoria would still be winning somehow based on the Eurovision Top 250. A lot of comments about France. So my view on France 20 and 21 is exactly opposite. Love last year, not a fan of this year's. I usually love French. Can't put a finger on what I don't like about this one. Fair enough, Pro Mod Duster. Kind of the exact opposite of my opinion, but there you go. It's always good that there are differing opinions. Yeah, I think like I said, the acoustic version of You Are the Best in Me, or The Best in Me, whatever exactly it was called, was fine. But it just, yeah, I'm not a big fan of guy and guitar kind of songs, or just guy doing odd performances on the Eiffel Tower. Like, they finally used the Eiffel Tower for a music video, and that was what they used it for, was how I felt. It just, I don't know, it's a letdown. I feel like because France had been so good, 2020, was just kind of, it felt like a letdown to me. But I know, again, everybody has their own opinions, and people like different songs, which is the best thing. I used to have my favourites being released in March, but I think that France might be my winner this year. Voila, could have an APD moment. It's going to do so well with the juries. Yeah, I agree. I think that there's a huge opportunity for it. And yeah, I do think that, could it have, I would love to see France win in its own way. I don't know whether they would if they'd go, would they just do Paris for Junior Eurovision and for Main Eurovision? That'd be an interesting one. But yeah, I do think that there is something very special about it, and it depends, if there's a satellite stage option, which I don't think there will be now, because there also won't be any crowd around her because there isn't a standing section anymore. They'll figure something out, I'm sure. Barbara is my fave so far, and Laura also said, wasn't a fan of the Birds part either, TBH. Barbara's such a good performer. Kind of felt there was no need to take the focus off her, if that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think that there was an element of that where it did just seem to distract a little. Like, she's great, just let her do her own thing. You don't need a distraction like that. How do you perceive the world we live in? I think that there are a lot of problems with the world we live in, and I think that there are a lot of things that we could do better, but hopefully things are getting better, and that after all this mess that everybody is in, everybody just starts to chill and love people a bit more, and just, let's not get too political though, like Eurovision. I say that Eurovision is a very political thing. We all have to admit that, right? It's been a political thing ever since it was created, because it was literally created to bring Europe together, which is in itself a political motive, even if it's in a very nice way. Anyway, let us go on to Q&A bits, because I did a little thing on my Instagram where I asked people to give me questions, and I will answer them now. Is my vague plan. So there's quite a few, and I'll answer some of them now, and then maybe we'll do some another time. But yes, thank you. And if you do have any other questions or want to know anything Eurovision-y or anything like that, put them in the live chat. So Tyrone asked, what was your first memory of Eurovision ever? So my first memory of Eurovision was 1997, and it was Love Shine a Light. That was my first Eurovision memory, my first Eurovision song, really. And it was a great year to actually start watching the contest, I guess, because what an entry, what a moment, watching the UK win on your first ever Eurovision, and it never happening again. Wonderful. There is a tale that has been told about how I mostly got quite passionate and started acting like I was a commentator and annoying my parents by commentating over the entire Eurovision show in 1997. And look, just a short 24 years later, I'm still doing it now. I think that's my first real memory. I feel like I vaguely remember Riverdance, but I don't know whether that was because of Eurovision. Like, Riverdance was so prevalent, so it probably wasn't that. My main first thought, though, always goes back to Eurovision 97, and then I remember 98 and going forward a lot more clearly. Chris Ellis asked, if the UK ever hosted ESC again, who would you want to host? I feel like I feel like it's almost obvious that it will be Graham Norton in some way, and it's hard when you have an image of who you assume will host to think of other potential people. I think the perfect option would be Graham Norton, Claudia Winkleman, and or Mel Giedroyc and Rylan. I know not everybody likes Mel's national final stuff, but I think I think she's funny enough. I would rather Claudia Winkleman, probably, because she can also speak French, which is very, very handy. and I think she speaks French. They definitely did the like Eurovision dance contest. Remember when that was a thing? Eurovision dancers or Strictly Come Eurovision, whatever it was. They did that together. Obviously, I would love Rylan. Rylan as a green room host. Come on, that would be amazing. And he so loves Eurovision. He's so passionate. And it's a genuine love for the contest, which is the best thing. And he is a lovely man. I've met him kind of in passing. Well, I've met him at Euroclub in passing a few times, but I know through other work things, everybody says he's amazing and just how great he is. So I think he would be a wonderful host and wonderful representative as well, and be really good as like a green room person. I think he would be a very good option. Did I listen to the Melody Festival and snippets today? Now, this was asked last week, so technically, yes, I did then, and yes, I did today, because they also came out today. Charlotte Pirelli, amazing. So glad that we have Charlotte Pirelli back. And then there's also Tusse with Voices, which I think is a contender, is what I would say. I know that he was I think he's a betting odds favourite as well. So he could be one to watch. I'll wait to see. I only really listen to the snippets. I don't watch the rehearsal clips and things like that, because there's only so much you can tell. And it's actually more or less the same for every national fan. I don't follow them as in depth as I used to, because it's no longer my job to do that. Even though I'm kind of doing it here, I pick and choose which national finals I watch these days, because it's too much sometimes. And actually, I am going to be talking about that on another broadcast format relatively soon, which is a spoiler, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I try and keep back on it, because it's also nice to have a surprise on the Saturday. I don't want to watch an entire thing and know exactly what it's going to look like. So yeah, I like having that surprise. So very fun. Okie doke. There are questions in the chat as well. Why doesn't everybody talk about the points between Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and are always negative about Greece and Cyprus? Why is that? I think it's because I don't know. I think because it's constantly Greece giving. Well, it's not constant as well. We've seen it where they don't give everybody those 12 points. It's not every single year, but it's constant enough that people look at it in much more attention, whereas Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland will spread it out a little bit more. So yeah, that might be why. And I think a lot of people picked up on it a lot more in the 90s and stuff, because there wasn't as much spread, and then that's just kind of continued on. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not even diaspora voting. It's just it's cultural voting, and that's the main thing. Everybody says, "Oh, you just vote for your neighbours." No, you vote for a Greek artist is going to be famous in Cyprus. A Cypriot artist is going to be famous in Greece. Sometimes the Greek artist is Cypriot. Sometimes Finland will send somebody singing in Swedish, so naturally they're going to get a lot of points from Sweden. It just happens, and I think it's just particularly the UK doesn't have that with anybody. So I think that's I imagine where a lot of the voices start from. Same with Germany. If Germany had sent a big artist who's famous in Austria or Switzerland, they'd probably get a lot of points from there. It's just the way that it goes sometimes. So yeah, I think that that's possibly why. It's just unfortunately maybe a bit more obvious to people with Greece and Cyprus. Moving on, favorite Russian entry from Mandarina on Instagram. It feels trite to say You Are the Only One, because it is a great song, and it probably is one of my top 3. Other ones, I really love Alsu Solo, which is great. It's probably my number 2 in 2000 solo, because I do love Fly on the Wings of Love. And actually, there's a lot of good songs in 2000, but just off the top of my head, that would probably be quite high up there. And then other Russian songs that I really like. What else do I like from Russia? Cerebros. It's not my number one. It's song one or whatever it is. That 2007, Russia 2007 is fun for what it is. And you know, I like Prima Donna as well, Alla Pugacheva from '97. Russia, I like some of the deep cuts from Russia, is what I would say. I'm not a big fan of everybody else. A lot of people love A Million Voices. I never got it really, although it is fun to sing along to when you're drunk, it turns out. But that's any good power ballad usually is. Jack DeBall says Lost in a Dance is a much better song than Little Tot, and if it were in Melfest, people would be hyping it to win Eurovision. I'm not going to lie, I can't think of which one Lost in a Dance is. If somebody could tell me which national final that one is from. I probably do know it, and I'm probably not thinking. So if somebody could let me know, that would be wonderful. And then let's go back to some of the other questions whilst maybe that filters through. Do you think live music should return to the contest? I think that there should be an option for that. I think that some entries would probably do really well with live music, and it has vaguely come back. I think Elitsa and Stoyan were allowed to perform some of their music live, which I think is fair, because obviously there was no way that you could disguise that really. I think if the problem is then you get a divide, like if somebody is an amazing, performer of piano and they perform it live, will people automatically give that more points than somebody that's fake playing the piano, or they're not a singer but they have a piano in the background? There is an issue. I think it would be cool to see live music back, but we will see whether or not that happens, and I think it would need to be done very particularly. I mean, I love Nocturne. I think Nocturne is a great entry and a great winner, and we'll never get anything like that again because people would know it's faked in a way. So yeah, I think it would be cool to have something like Nocturne in it again and have that as a potential winner. What is the next one? Okay, so this came up 3 or 4 times. Do you think you'll ever return to Wee Wee Blogs, or are you doing your own thing now? And other people also said, where is it? Will we see you back in Wee Wee Blogs? Why did you leave Wee Wee Blogs? Yeah, I'm never going to say never. I love the team. I love them. It was all on good terms. I have seen people suggest that it didn't end on good terms. I think I saw somewhere people were like, oh, Chris went against the grain. He didn't talk nice about Russia. I will just go on fact and say, I was never told to say good things. I was never told you have to say a good thing about this song or you have to say a bad thing about this song. That never, ever happened. I can hand on heart say that. So any rumors that I was let go because I went against the grain is completely false. I chose to leave because I was burnt out on Eurovision, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I have anxiety, and it was being exacerbated sort of by that situation, by just the constant feel of need to be on, and I chose to do that. And do not get me wrong, I loved it. I loved doing the live stream at Eurovision 2019. I loved being in videos. I loved every second of it, but it just eventually you need to take a step back and you need to enjoy things. And yeah, I made that decision. And I stick by it, and I'm happy I did it. And currently I am doing my own thing, and I'm enjoying this too. I'm enjoying this immensely. That doesn't mean I will never go back. It doesn't mean that I might go back for a bit, or I might do little things here and there. I'm enjoying this. But I love them. I think they still like me at least. I know, they're great. And I'm very happy, and I wish them all the best. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of there's a lot of back and forth sometimes, and it's always it's a real fight between Eurovision websites. I have no ill will or ill feelings about any it just feels silly, because at the end of the day it's a song contest. I love the guys from Insight, I love the guys from United, everybody, the smaller websites, the individual people, the big websites, no matter who it is, the EBU team, everybody it's all in it because we all care about Eurovision, and I think that's all that really should matter. Like, any slight petty differences sometimes, it's like, why are we getting involved with this? And I've been guilty of it. Like, I would have sniped at people probably back a few years ago, but now I just don't see the point. Like, let's just all just be happy and just celebrate this contest, especially this year. Like, come on, let's not be negative. It's in Estilal. The Lost in a Dance song. Okay, I haven't really listened to Estilal. I just know of a couple of the songs by reputation. So yeah, that's my. There is a longer version of like when I left, because I left We Were Blogs 2 days after Tel Aviv. Like, literally, we landed, I took a night, and then I was like, I need to go for a bit, and a bit has turned into 18 months or slightly longer than that now. I put an Instagram post up where I was sort of probably emotional and knackered, which kind of goes into a bit more detail. But yeah, all the love. But for now, we're doing this little thing, and it's nice and cozy. Hopefully it's cozy. I'm enjoying. I have not drunk a lot of this, and it's rapidly being watered down by ice, which is also no longer existent. Mr. Bookaholic, how do you think Germany is going to perform this year? I think Jendrik he's a completely different character. Like, we've not really had I don't think we've ever had a TikTok star or like a budding social media person just like burst onto the scene in such a way and almost like harangue himself into actually representing Germany, or a country anywhere. I think he's a lot of fun, and he's got so much personality. At the end of the day, it all depends on what the song is going to be like. I'm concerned that there is a ukulele, because it's a ukulele. But yeah, there's potential there. I think that, if he can drive that charisma, we've seen it before where there's been very likable acts and then their song hasn't always come across great. And it's not done well, and you always feel like, oh, I feel really sad for them. I hope that doesn't happen, but there's a risk going on. However, if he can harness a younger vote through social media, there's a chance. We don't have app voting or anything like that. What do we have app voting? Is there app voting? There isn't there, but not in the UK. Maybe. It's been a very long time since I've actually voted at Eurovision, because I'm usually in the host country and I can't vote because I'm in a press centre. Yeah, I don't think I don't know. I think there's a good chance if he can, like I said, if he can harness social media and get an audience behind him who really like him, they might vote for him regardless of what the song is. So yeah, I'm open to whatever he is going to bring us, is what I will say. Jack, hello Jack. Love Shine Lights Live hits so much harder than Studio Vision. I love them both, but yeah, there's just something about Love Shine Light. It's a fantastic song. It is. It's near and dear to my heart. It's always going to be in my top 10 of all time. I just think it's wonderful, and again, great song if you're slightly tipsy to sing along to, particularly at Eurofest. Love that, because we're all going to shine a light together. And I feel like I had my little own Love Shine a Light moment just a moment ago. Who do you want to win UMK this weekend? So again, I haven't really followed UMK that much. I know the Teflon Brothers song. Is that the Oh My God, or the one that's the arcadey looking one? That one's fun. I know a lot of people of The Blind Side, the slightly like My Chemical Romance meets The Rasmus meets something else band. That one's fine. I don't know. The ones I've seen, I've not been massively sold on yet. There might be one that I've not noticed from the pile that I will really love. Laura Polveri's isn't great, unfortunately, and Axel's is fine. I actually have really grown to love Looking Back. I was one of those people that was outraged that it beat Cicciolina in 2020, but yeah, he's good. I like him, and he's got a great vocal. And again, will he get sort of that, not a sympathy vote, but we feel like you missed out, so maybe you'll get a few extra points. Will that be enough for him? we will see on Saturday night. Mr. Bugaholic says, I'm scared of the ukulele too. Yeah, we will, I mean, it's glittered, it's been rhinestoned. Didn't he say, like, he single-handedly rhinestoned every single bit of that, which, fair play, mate. If you're going to go into that much effort for a ukulele, then you deserve a couple of points here and there. Okay, let's do one last question and then anything else in the chat, and then I have been doing this for, like, 45 minutes now. And, yeah, it's quite warm. I've changed my lighting. I now have slightly different lighting because it's slightly later. That's my mood lighting, maybe. Who is your favourite? Okay, yeah. Who is your favourite to win Melody Grand Prix 2021? So obviously, I will touch on this a little bit more on Saturday because I'm going to do like a little vague roundup of national final stuff for the weekend. But I love Monument because it's Kaino. Who isn't going to love that? I love Rayleigh. I really, really like that. And America is my dark horse, I would say. There's obviously, I don't get Teak, the guy that's probably going to win, unfortunately. The guy that dressed as an angel, or whatever that was, in the first semi-final. Yeah, I don't really get that one, but I feel like I'm not the audience that's meant to get it, is what I will say. And maybe his audience also won't turn up to vote in MGP. I don't know whether Kaino will win. I feel like, again, it's one where Eurovision fans obviously are fully sold in on Monument because it's Kaino and we know them and we love them. I don't feel like they're like as universally loved in Norway as far as I'm aware. If I'm wrong on that, please do let me know. But I don't feel like a lot of their singles chart, which might be a concern. Like, I feel like maybe I think it's great. I don't think it's as good as Spirit in the Sky, but it's better than some of their other singles. And yeah, Rayleigh, I would love it if Hero went because I really do like that. Great song to run to, by the way. If you ever need like a running anthem, Hero is a pretty good one, it turns out. And yeah, America, just great emotion there. And that, yeah, if anything was going to come and surprise as a winner, because I feel like everybody is expecting Teak, whatever his name is, Kaino or Rayleigh. I hope it's that. Rain Alexander's is good too. It's, yeah, and Faith, Bloody Faith is an interesting one. Tix, that's it. There we go. Yeah, I kind of want Tix to win purely to see the reaction on social. I don't think people will massively be happy is the answer on that one. I think that there might be a bit of an outcry, kind of like what happened with Cicciolina. And yeah, thoughts on Rain Alexander's song? Yeah, it's fine. It's very obviously like that kind of like Bond-esque thing going on. I preferred One Last Time because it was a bit of camp old fun. But, you know, he's a great vocalist. And obviously we saw that last year. It's so much more on show this time. I feel like he's probably aiming for that 4th or 5th kind of placing. I don't see it as the winner. Would I be upset? No, but I think that it would have won over slightly more worthy entries in the end. Particularly, you know, if you're not going to go for the wow, you know, Monument or Hero, I would go for America. And I can't escape. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, that's kind of my vague feeling for MGP, but I will go into a bit more on that on Saturday. I am doing another stream on Saturday, so if you do want to come along, join in. I'm going to be doing like a Eurovision tier list thing, where I will be sort of ranking Eurovisions from 2003 through to 2020, even though that didn't technically happen, but we have the songs at least, and then putting them in some kind of vague order. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody who has joined tonight. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope that you have too. Again, like, do leave comments, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, I will catch everybody on Saturday. And I still don't have an outro, unfortunately. We will get there, but until I see you next time, have a great evening, have a great afternoon, have a great morning, wherever you are. Just have a great one, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.